Good morning, students. I welcome you to Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation Education Department, online education for English medium for class 9th, subject science. Topic today which I am going to teach you, that is substances in common use, and the topic in that subtopic is bleaching powder, washing soda and soap. Today is my second session. My name is Ms. Bushra Maqsood Ahmed and my Chief Nodal Officer name is Mrs. Almaz Hanure. So, chapter number 14, Substances in Common Use. Yesterday, we have learned about some substances such as common salt and baking soda. What are the properties of that substance, how it is used, and what is the chemical name of that substance. That all we have learned yesterday, right? Today we are going to learn about some other substances such as bleaching powder and washing soda. But before going to that topic, I just shortly want to revise the topic which I have taught you yesterday. So the students, those who were not able to attend the lecture yesterday, they can get the knowledge by this. Okay. Sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, what I have told you, that is nothing but a table salt, that is common salt, and its chemical formula is NaCl. Sodium chloride is formed by which reaction? Neutralization reaction by sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid, right? This is sodium hydroxide and this is hydrochloric acid. So with this, what we get? We get NaCl. NaCl, which is a common salt, plus H2O. H2O is a water. Then next point I have taught you that aqueous solution of salt is neutral in nature. Remember the pH scale yesterday? In that we have seen the seventh number, pH value 7. The color was green color, right? So when I take the solution of salt and I added 2 to 3 drops of universal indicator in that, I found that it is neutral in nature and hence its pH value was 7. Next, we have seen that properties and uses, right? Properties and uses of common salt. Common salt is colorless and crystalline ionic compound. There is no water of crystallization in its crystal structure, right? It is colorless and it is a crystalline. When we take some common salt in our hand, we will see that it is a crystalline structure is there. It is not smooth. Some crystalline feel we get. Second, it is neutral salt. Then it is salty in taste. Third point was this compound is used for the production of salt like Na2CO3. Yesterday we have seen Na2CO3 and NaHCO3. What was NaHCO3? NaHCO3 was baking soda. Then I have explained you electrolysis process. When an electric current is passed through a saturated solution of sodium chloride, that is known as brine, it is electrolyzed and hydrogen gas is released at the cathode, while chlorine gas is released at the anode. This method is used for the production of chlorine gas, right? So see, when we have taken solution of NaCl in water and I have taken it in a beaker, and when I switch on the battery, we see that H plus ions are attracted towards cathode and Cl minus ions are attracted towards anode, and NaOH base is formed in the beaker. Then we have learned about fused salt also. What was fused salt? When salt is heated to the high temperature, about 800 degrees Celsius, it's melt. At what temperature salt melt? It melts at 800 degrees Celsius, and that is nothing but fused state of the salt. Now, when we electrolyze this fused salt, what we get when fused salt is electrolyzed? Chlorine gas is released at anode. At anode, which gas is released? Chlorine gas. And liquid sodium metal at cathode. At cathode, we get sodium liquid sodium metals. This is electrolyte process in which salt, fused salt. Then next we have learned about baking soda, right? To make cakes and bhajis, mama use baking soda. So baking soda is a white non-crystalline powder. When we touch the baking soda, we feel that when we take some pinch of baking soda in our hand, we feel that it's very smooth. It is non-crystalline powder, right? Its chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate also, or we can tell it as sodium bicarbonate, and its molecular formula is NaHCO3. Then the properties and uses we have seen: NaHCO3 reacts with moist litmus paper and red litmus paper turns to blue, which means it is basic in nature. Obviously, when we take a litmus paper, red litmus paper, and we touch it to the baking soda, it turns to red. It turns from red litmus paper to a blue color. Hence, we can determine that it is basic in nature. Then it is also used for making bread, cake, and dhoklas, right? Then next we have seen, being basic in nature, it is used to reduce acidity in stomach. Um, okay, as it is basic in nature, so it is also used to reduce acidity in the stomach. Then we have seen NaHCO3 is used to make the active substance CO2 in the fire extinguisher. In video also I have shown you, right? In fire extinguisher, that red color cylinder, which gas is filled? CO2 gas. So by some chemical reaction of NaHCO3, we can get CO2, and it is used for fire extinguisher. Then there we having baking soda is also used for cleaning an oven. Okay, this all things of common salt and of baking soda we have seen yesterday. So this was just a quick revision for the topic which we have taken yesterday. Now let's start for today's topic. Today's topic is bleaching powder. Bleaching powder, by just hearing the name only, bleaching powder, you see that mom is telling you your school white shirt is not, it's so dirty, now I have to use bleaching soda to wash it, right? Every time your mom said this. So what this bleaching soda is used for? Bleaching powder is used for always cleaning purpose, for washing your uniforms or for washing clothes, right? But what is chemical name? What is the chemical name of it? Chemical name is calcium oxychloride. Bleaching powder chemical name is calcium oxychloride. And what is its chemical formula? Chemical formula is CaOCl2. Okay, now you see the bleaching powder which we see every day in a day-to-day life. So we were not knowing its chemical name and formula. So this is its chemical name and chemical formula. Now we will see how we can get this bleaching powder. Bleaching powder is obtained by the reaction of chlorine gas with slaked lime. Slake line, you know, we in our day-to-day language we call this as tuna. We can tell it that is nothing but a slake line, right? That slake line is nothing but CaOH2. Okay, when CaOH2 reacts with chlorine gas, which gas? Chlorine gas, Cl2. What we get? We get CaOCl2. That is nothing but bleaching powder plus H2O. Now, how to balance this equation? See, here we have CaOH2 plus Cl2, and what the product we get? We get CaOCl2. This is Ca. It's come here. See, there's two O, so one single O is here. Then this chlorine gas Cl2 we get here, plus H2O. Here there are two molecules of hydrogen, so H2, and one single O is here. So like this, by the reaction of slaked lime with chlorine gas, what we get? We get CaOCl2 plus H2O, that is bleaching powder plus water. Now, bleaching powder undergoes slow decomposition due to the carbon dioxide in the air and chlorine gas is released. Now see what this second point we want to tell us. When when we leave bleaching powder open, right? When we leave it openly, so slowly it go into decomposition. Why? Because in air, which gas is present? Carbon dioxide gas is present. And this carbon dioxide gas reacts with a calcium oxychloride, that is nothing but bleaching powder, and what is formed? Calcium carbonate plus chlorine gas is released. Okay, so never ever leave your bleaching powder open or and keep it in a jar, and don't make a jar open for long time. Whenever you need it, that time you open, otherwise make it always closed, because as you open it, slowly it will start decomposing and it will lose its property. Why it will lose its property? Because there is carbon dioxide present in the air, which reacts with your bleaching powder, your calcium oxychloride, and the chlorine gas, which is useful for your washing purpose, for your cleaning purpose, that will be released from it, and the activeness of the powder will be decreased. Okay, I think this 2 points everyone has got clear, how we have obtained a bleaching powder, and second point, how the bleaching powder get decomposed. Now we will go to the next slide. Now see, what is the properties and uses of bleaching powder? Now first, we will see what is the physical appearance, how the bleaching powder looks like. Bleaching powder is a yellowish, white colored solid substance, right? We have always seen bleaching powder is of which color? It is yellowish, white colored solid substance. Second, which I have told you already, its chemical name is what? Calcium oxychloride. Calcium oxychloride is a chemical name of bleaching powder. Next, it has a strong odor of chlorine. See, always when we take bleaching powder, we get a strong odor, right? That strong odor is nothing but a odor of a chlorine gas. Now see what this chlorine gas is used for of bleaching powder. It is used for the disinfection of drinking water at the waterworks. Now see, in rainy season, always we get right a strong odor from water which is coming out from the tap. That strong odor is nothing but of chlorine gas. Why this chlorine gas is used? To disinfection, because in rainy season, you know, much more infections, much more microbes are there in the water, and with that the diseases can be spread out very easily. So for that reason, for the disinfection of that, what is used? Bleaching chlorine gas is used, and also it is used in the water in swimming pool also, right? In when we go for swimming in swimming pool, right, what we get? We get a odor from that water. That water is nothing but, that odor is nothing but, it is the odor of a chlorine gas. And why this bleaching powder is used in this? Why? Because it destroys the microbes in the water. Microbes means which are the microorganisms which are responsible from the spread of the disease. It kills that microbes, it destroys that microbe, and that water is very essential, very useful for now drinking purpose also, and for other purpose also. Okay, now next, the main use, we always know that it is used for bleaching of the clothes. Normally we use bleaching powder for white shirts, right? Because it turns to yellowish color, but when we bleach that shirt, so it shines the very bright white color. So usually it is used for the bleaching purpose for our clothes, bleaching of the clothes. Now next point, what are the properties? It is used for the disinfection of the roadside and garbage side. Now see, in rainy season, you have seen in the roadside and garbage side, there are lots of algae, lots of fungus is there, and due to the road become very slippery, right? And hence there is much more increase in the microbes also there, and due to that the spread of disease is also very easily. So to disinfect, for the disinfection for the roadside and garbage side also, what we spread, always we said that we see that municipality people comes and spread some powders on roadside and garbage side, right? So what the powder they are spreading on roadside and garbage side? They are spreading bleaching powder on roadsides and garbage side. So whenever you are seeing some people who are spreading some powders on roadside and garbage side, so now you can remember that which powder they are spreading. They are spreading bleaching powder. Now see, next property, the chemical property of bleaching powder. Dilute sulfuric acid and dilute hydrochloric acid reacts rapidly with bleaching powder to release chlorine gas completely. Now see, what this property wants to tell us. The dilute sulfuric acid, we know dilute sulfuric acid is what? H2SO4. And what is dilute hydrochloric acid? It is nothing but HCl. It reacts very rapidly with bleaching powder. See, it reacts very rapidly with bleaching powder to release which gas? Chlorine gas. See here, this chemical reaction is given CaOCl2. When it reacts with H2SO4, what it gives? It gives CaSO4 plus Cl2 gas is released, and water we have formed H2O. Okay, so with this equation we can see that sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid and dilute hydrochloric acid, it reacts very rapidly with bleaching powder and releases with gas? Chlorine gas. This is the one of the most important property always asked in the exams also and in the MCQs also. So better remind it very well and always make it remind. Next, calcium oxychloride reacts slowly with carbon dioxide to form calcium carbonate and chlorine. See this property previously also I have told you that calcium oxychloride, that is a bleaching powder, when it is kept open, what? It decomposes slowly. Why? Because there is a presence of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere which decomposes it, and the product we get it is calcium carbonate and chlorine gas is released from it. So hence always we have to keep our bleaching powder in a closed jar so that it cannot get decomposed by the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere and does not loses its property. So I think this you have understood very well about bleaching powder. What are the properties of bleaching powder and what are the uses of bleaching powder? So next we will proceed towards the next topic now. Next topic is washing soda. Washing soda. Okay. Now washing soda, its chemical formula is Na2CO3 dot H2O. Dot H2O comes, yesterday I have told you, right? Means what? Means in its crystalline structure, in its crystalline form, what is always there? Water molecule is always there. Therefore washing soda we always write it as Na2CO3 dot H2O. Okay, now the hard water from a well or bore well becomes soft on adding washing soda, and we come to know this from the leather formed on it. Now see, whatever in village normally the main source of water is what? Hard water or a well water, right? So it is a very hard water which we get from wells or bore wells. But this hard water can be softened by adding what? Washing soda. See, normally we have seen when when in the hard water, we feel that when we use a soap, we see a scum generated. Scum means a layer of dirt generated, right? Which we can say that, yeah, this is a hard water. But to make this hard water soft, what is used? Washing soda is used. And that we can say that after just adding washing soda to this hard water, the leather which is formed on it is different as compared to the previous one. So we can say that now this hard water is converted to what? Soft water, as we have added washing soda to it. Okay. Now, why the water in the wells or the bore wells it is hard? See, this we will see in this point now. The hardness of water is due to the presence of what? Chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium in it. Why it is hard? Always it is hard. Why the water is hard of wells and bore wells? So what we can say, the hardness of the water is due to what? Is due to the presence of chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium in it. Okay, this you understood why the water is hard and what is the answer of that. Now we will proceed to the next point. Next point is Na2CO3, that is washing soda, is added to soften such water and make it suitable for use. In first point only I have explained you this, that this is added to what? To soften the water and to make it suitable for the use. Okay. Now, see the reaction. Now, this is the one property of washing soda. The reaction with Na2CO3, that is washing soda, causes the formation of insoluble carbonate salts of magnesium and calcium. Now see, when Na2CO3, what? When it reacts with aqueous solution of magnesium chloride, what it forms? It forms insoluble carbonate salt of magnesium, means this is magnesium carbonate, and again which salt we have obtained? NaCl. So whenever washing soda is reacted with aqueous solution of magnesium chloride, what we get? Magnesium insoluble carbonate salt, that is nothing but magnesium carbonate plus NaCl. NaCl is what? Sodium chloride. This understood everyone? I hope all these properties of washing soda you have understood. What is the purpose of washing soda, why it is used, for which purpose it is used, and how it softens the hard water. Okay, now we will proceed towards our next point. Now see, this is how the washing soda look like. See this picture? This picture is nothing but of washing soda. Now, what is washing soda? Sodium carbonate is a water soluble salt of sodium. Now see, sodium carbonate is a water soluble salt of sodium. Why this line comes here? I've explained you. See, chemical formula consists of Na2CO3.H2O. Hence, sodium carbonate is a water soluble salt of sodium. Crystalline sodium carbonate on keeping loses its water of crystallization readily and white powder is obtained. This is called as washing soda. Now you will tell me, ma'am, just you have read it. We don't understand this. See, I will explain you. Now see, this is Na2CO3.10H2O, right? This is nothing but what? It is washing soda. When it is kept openly, okay, when it is kept openly, what? It loses the water from its crystallization readily. Can you see minus H2O? Why minus H2O? Because it is losing its water molecules. See, crystalline sodium carbonate on keeping loses its water of crystallization. What it is? It loses its water of crystallization readily. And what we obtain? We obtained a white powder. And that white powder is nothing but what? Washing soda. Understood everyone? What I have taught you right now? Huh? So washing soda, when it kept openly, it loses what? It loses its water from, and what we get is white powder is obtained, and this is nothing but washing soda. Okay, let's go to the next point. Next point is properties and uses. What are the properties of washing soda and what are the uses of washing soda? Now see, first point, washing soda is a whitish and odorless powder at room temperature. We have seen, see here the figure, it is white color, right? Whitish. So washing soda is a whitish and odorless. We not get odor from this powder. Whereas of bleaching powder, we get odor. Odor of which gas? Chlorine gas. But in this washing soda, we does not get any odor. It is whitish and odorless powder at room temperature. This is the first point. Understood everyone? Now second point is litmus has a blue color in its aqueous solution. What does this mean? See, always indicators are used to check whether the material, whether the substance which you are using is acidic, basic or neutral, right? So here red litmus paper as an indicator is used, and when we put this red litmus paper in the solution of washing soda, what we see that red litmus paper turns to which color? Blue color. As it turns to blue color, what we get that this solution is what? It is basic in nature. This is also an important property of washing soda. Now, what is third property? It is hygroscopic. Hygroscopic means what? That is, it absorbs moisture if left exposed to air. Whatever moisture is present in the air, what it absorbs that moisture in the air. Hence, it is what? The term is known as that it is hygroscopic. Now, next one. It is used mainly for washing clothes. What is the main use of it? It is mainly used for washing our clothes. For washing purpose always this is used. Now, what is the next term? See, sodium carbonate is used in the glass and paper industries and also in refining of petrols. Now, see, sodium carbonate is used in which industries also? It is used in glass and paper industries, and also it is used in refining of petrols. See, right now we were knowing the only one property, that it is used for washing clothes. But see, here there's so much properties are there, right? So this it is also used for in industries also, for refining purpose also, for cleaning purpose also, and these are the uses and these are the properties of this washing soda. So better, I know that you have understood very well about bleaching powder, its properties and uses. Then next we have seen washing soda, its properties, its uses, what are the chemical name of these substances, what are the chemical formula of these substances, how the reactions takes place. All this we have completed today. Now we are proceeding towards the next topic. The next topic is, see, there are some crystalline salts in our daily life used which contains water of crystallization. See, this all which we have learned washing soda, then we have learned about bleaching soda, then we have learned about common salt. So there are again much more crystalline salts which are used in our day-to-day life, but we don't know that, yes, what are the chemical formula of it, for what purpose it is used. So some examples are here. Alum. Alum, you know what do you mean by alum? See, this is the diagram of alum. What it is? It is known as fitcree. Fitcree, you know, that is nothing but alum. And alum, which is what? Potassium alum. What is the chemical formula of alum? It is K2SO4 Al2SO4 3.24H2O. Then next is borax. See, this is how borax look like. Borax chemical formula is Na2B4O7.10H2O. Then there is Epsom salt. This is the photograph of Epsom salt. Epsom salt is nothing but magnesium sulfate MgSO4.7H2SO4. See, these all are just examples. The properties and uses of previous substance we have learned. Again, these are all the examples also, but it is just for your purpose that these are also some substances which we are using in our day-to-day life. Then there is a barium chloride, that is BaCl2.2H2O. Then sodium sulfate, that are also known as Glauber's salt, and that chemical formula is Na2SO4.10H2O. Now let's see some uses of this salts. First we will see alum. Alum is used in the process of water purification. Because of property of coagulation, the solid impurities in the water come together, become heavy and settle to the bottom. As a result, the water above becomes clear. Now you will tell me, ma'am, we don't understand anything. You just read it out and we don't know what is the meaning of this. What are the properties of alum? Now see, always alum is used for which purpose? It is used for water verification purpose. Now see, whenever in rainy season, the water which comes to a tap, it feels like some dirt, right? So what your mom and what your father does, it takes some alum fitcree and he just roll on that alum to the water. So what we see that the impurities which were present in the water, it get heavy and it gets settled down at the bottom, right? And the water above the layer is very clear now, and that is ready to use now. Now see the process of these. When the solid impurities in the water becomes heavy and settle down, this property is nothing but property of coagulation. Now you understood what is coagulation? Coagulation is the property that is used in the process of waterification. In coagulation, what? The solid impurities in water comes together, become heavy and settle down to the bottom. As a result, the water becomes clear. Okay, so this is the one property of alum, of salt, which we are using in a day-to-day life. Then borax. What the borax is used for? Borax is a powdery white substance. It's a powdery white substance known as sodium borate. It is widely used as a household cleaner and a booster for laundry detergents. Now see, in laundry detergents also, for booster purpose with detergents, we can add this borax powder so that it is very very essential, useful for cleaning purpose. The clothes get very clean very easily. Usually this borax is also known as what? Sodium borax, and it is used for cleaning purpose only. So these are the examples, and what are the, like them, Epsom salt is also used, barium chloride is also used, sodium sulfate is also used. So these are just some example of some crystalline salt which we are using in a day-to-day life. Let's go to the next topic, that is nothing but a soap. Now soap, we all know. Soap is used for which purpose? Can you see the diagram here? Soap is used for which purpose? For bathing purpose, right? For cleaning your hands. Now the coronavirus, due to this pandemic, this substance is very useful, right? If So within a 15 or 20 minutes, frequently you have to wash your hands so that you make your hands very clean. Okay. Now, what is the soap? How the soap is prepared? This question might be coming in your mind now when you're using these soaps. Now see, we will now today learn how these soaps are prepared. Now see, when oil or animal fats, right? Some essential oils means some vegetables oils are, or animal fat is boiled with an aqueous solution of sodium or potassium hydroxide, sodium or potassium salt of carboxylic acid, fatty acids are formed. These salts are called soap. Now I will explain you what the definition means. Now see, when these oils or animal fat, it is boiled with aqueous solution of which aqueous solution? Sodium or potassium hydroxide. When this oil and animal fat is boiled with aqueous solution of sodium and potassium hydroxide, it's okay. After boiling, what we obtain? We obtain sodium or potassium salt of carboxylic acid, that is known as fatty acid. After boiling this animal fat or vegetables oil with sodium and potassium hydroxide, what we get? We get a fatty acid forms of what? What this fatty acid consists of? Sodium or potassium salt of carboxylic acids are formed, and this product is nothing but it is known as soap. Now you understood what is soap, how the soap is formed. When it is asked how the soap is formed, please explain. So what you will write? When oil, vegetables oil or animal fat is boiled with aqueous solution of sodium potassium hydroxide, what we form? We form the sodium potassium salt of carboxylic acid, that is nothing but fatty acids are formed, and that are known as soap. Now I think everyone understood how the soap are formed, which we are using in our day-to-day life, right? Now see the next point. When soap is mixed with hard water, calcium and magnesium salt of fatty acids are formed. When soap is mixed with what? Hard water. So when it is mixed with hard water, what is formed? Calcium and magnesium salt. Calcium and magnesium salt of fatty acids are formed. See, when it is mixed with hard water, so which salts are formed? Calcium and magnesium salts of fatty acids are formed, and this is the reason why the scum is generated. Scum means what? The layer of the dirt, right? When this soap is mixed with hard water, because of the scum means the layer of the dirt, what it consists of? It consists of calcium and magnesium salt of fatty acids. Okay, now let's see the next. What are the differences between soap and detergents? Okay, what are the difference between soaps and detergents? Soaps and detergents, they are, first we will see what is soap. They are not effective in hard waters and saline waters, right? It is not effective in hard waters and saline water. It is used, and because what we have seen, scum is generated and it is not efficient in hard waters. While in detergents, they do not lose their effectiveness in hard waters and saline water. Saline water means khara pani, you know, and hard water. Now, the next point is soaps are completely biodegradable. What do you mean by biodegradable? Biodegradable means what? Biodegradable means that it is easily accepted by the earth, or we can say that it does not harms to our environment. It is biodegrade, it can be composed easily. Okay, it can be accepted by earth easily. It does not do any pollution, it does not harms any living organisms, hence soaps are completely biodegradable. Have you understood this point? Soaps are completely biodegradable. Now, what are detergents? Detergent contains a branched hydrocarbon chains and are non-biodegradable. Non-biodegradable detergents, what? It contains a chain of hydrocarbon chains, right? Hydrocarbon means OH chains they are consist of, and what? They are non-biodegradable, means they are not easily accepted by the earth. They are hazardous for the environment. They are not decomposed easily. They are very harmful for the living, for the small microorganism also, for the living organism also, right? So hence soaps are known as are completely biodegradable, while detergents are non-biodegradable. Now next, they have a tendency to form scum in a hard water environment. I have told you previous only that what tendency they are having. They are having a tendency to form what? Scum. Scum is nothing but a layer of dirt. So they have a tendency to form a scum in a hard water environment. While detergents, these compounds do not form scum. When detergent are mixed in the hard water, these do not form what? Scums. Next, they are derived from natural sources such as vegetable oils and fats. They are derived from natural sources, right? They are derived from natural sources such as I have already told you that vegetables, oils, and animal fats are boiled and what we get, soap is formed. So it is usually derived from what? It is derived from natural sources such as vegetable oils and animal fats, while detergents are synthetics in derivative. They are not obtained from natural sources. They are artificially obtained. They are artificially synthetically obtained. Hence, it is as it is synthetically obtained, hence it is non-biodegradable. As this is obtained by natural sources, hence it is biodegradable. Right? Understood why it is biodegradable, why it is non-biodegradable? Because it is obtained from natural sources such as vegetables, oils, and fats, and these are obtained from synthetic derivatives, hence they are non-biodegradable. Now, soaps are environmental friendly products since they are biodegradable. Hence it is biodegradable, so it is environmental friendly. Yeah, it does. Environmental friendly mean it doesn't harms to our environment. It doesn't harm to any living thing in our environment. Hence, it is environment friendly. Now, these compounds can form a thick form that causes the death of aquatic life. Now see, these compounds are so much hazardous that it can also cause death of aquatic lives. Hence, we termed it as non-biodegradable. It is derived from synthetic derivatives. Hence, it is so hazardous that it can causes the death of aquatic lives also. So these all are the points which these are the difference between soaps and detergents. Hope everyone has understood the point which I have taught you today. So for better understanding, let's revise the topic again by having a video so that you can memorize it very well. You can understand it very well.
Of bleaching powder. Bleaching powder is a yellowish white colored solid substance. Its chemical name is calcium oxychloride. It has a strong odor of chlorine gas. It is used for disinfection of drinking water at the waterworks and the water in the swimming pool. It is used for bleaching cloth. It is used for disinfection by the roadside and garbage sites. Reaction of dilute sulfuric acid and dilute hydrochloric acid with bleaching powder releases chlorine gas completely. Calcium oxychloride reacts slowly with carbon dioxide to form calcium carbonate and chlorine. You must have experienced that tap water has a typical strong odor in the rainy season. Water in a swimming pool also has the same odor. The odor is of the chlorine gas used to destroy the microbes in the water. Chlorine gas is a strong oxidizing agent. Therefore, it has a strong disinfecting as well as bleaching action. Chlorine, being present in the gaseous state, is inconvenient to handle. Instead, the solid bleaching powder, which has the same effect, is more convenient to use. Bleaching powder undergoes slow decomposition due to the carbon dioxide in air and chlorine gas is released. Property of the bleaching powder is because of this release of chlorine gas. Bleaching powder is obtained by the reaction of chlorine gas with slaked lime. Now let us find out various types of bleaching powder available in the market and what distinguishes them from each other. The various types of bleaching powder available in market are bleaching powder containing chlorine, bleaching powder containing oxygen, bleaching powder containing peroxide, and bleaching powder containing reducing agent. The effectiveness of bleaching powder as disinfectant depends upon the chlorine content. The value of bleaching powder in the market is proportional to the quantity of available chlorine. Higher the chlorine content, higher is its price. Now let us understand the properties and uses of washing soda. Washing soda is a whitish and odorless powder at room temperature. It turns red litmus paper blue. This shows that it is basic in nature. It is hygroscopic, that is, it absorbs moisture if left exposed to air. It is used mainly for washing clothes. It is used in the glass and paper industry. It is also used in refining of petrol. Sodium carbonate is a water-soluble salt of sodium. Crystalline sodium carbonate, on keeping, readily loses its water of crystallization. As a result, a white powder is obtained. This powder is called washing soda. Now, let us complete the reaction of sodium carbonate with sulfuric acid. Sodium carbonate reacts with sulfuric acid to give sodium sulfate, water, and carbon dioxide. Let us proceed further to study some crystalline salts.
Let's see this one. Okay. Students, so next we'll see some assignments which you have to write in your notebook. You have to take some screenshot of it or note it down in your notebook, and you have to complete this assignment. First, give scientific explanation. Number first, bleaching powder has the odor of chlorine. Why bleaching powder has the odor of chlorine? You have to explain it scientifically. Give scientific explanation of that. Second, the hard water of well becomes soft on adding washing soda to it. This all I have explained you, right? Very well. So you can answer it very nicely, that why you have to give scientific explanation. The hard water of a well becomes soft on adding washing soda to it. And the last one is you have to give scientific explanation for soap forms a precipitate in hard water. What this precipitate consists of, that also you have to explain. Which why what it is consist of, means soap forms a precipitate in hard water, that you have to give the answer. So these all three scientific reasons you have to explain and you have to write down in your notebook. This is your homework, this is your assignment. Okay.